What's happened in Westchester and just over 3 years ago in Chicago is an act of terrorism.
The makers of Tylenol talk about terrorism and offer a reward for ending the terror.
This is INN, the Independent News with Morton Dean.
Good evening. The investigation has intensified into finding whoever is responsible for putting cyanide into at least 2 bottles of Tylenol so that the painkiller can kill. Although there's a nationwide warning against using Tylenol capsules today, the number of states that have banned the sale of the popular product has grown to 9, plus Washington, D.C. Alec Roberts reports the product's manufacturer is using strong language and a strong appeal to help resolve the Tylenol mystery.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's happened in Westchester and just over 3 years ago in Chicago is an act of terrorism. Pure and simple. We still believe that it's a local incident, that it's local tampering. We can't prove that it's tampering, and we can't prove that it didn't happen in the plant.
If you have Tylenol, either capsules or tablets, and wish to return the product, mail it to Tylenol Exchange, Post Office Box 2000, Maple Plain, Minnesota, 55348. Tylenol will send you a full refund. For the Independent News, I'm Alec Roberts in White Plains, New York.
Westchester, New York police are discounting an extortion note that claimed responsibility for the poisoning. The note demanded $2 million, but officials say they know who sent the letter and insist it's a fake. Massive demonstrations planned for the Philippines. We'll have the story coming up next on INN.
The Independent News, brought to you by Jell-O Gelatin, by Ferraro Mon Cherie, and by W.R. Grace.
This is a box of Jell-O brand gelatin, and you know what this is, and you certainly know who they are. And this is what Jell-O gelatin looks like when you make it, and here's what this looks like. But when you make them together, they can look like this, or even these, which would make them look like this. So if you look at something like this, you'll find this and those and everything else we've been up to, which could inspire you to make this or even this. Although anything you make with Jell-O gelatin and bananas will make them go, even something as simple as this.
Jell-O gelatin, we're up to something good.
Chances are you've spent today doing things for other people.
So, honey, could you remember to pick up my suit?
Don't you deserve something for yourself?
Susan, would you come in here and take a letter, please?
Treat yourself to Mon Cherie, the fine chocolate Europeans treasure most. Mon Cherie, the treasure chest of delicate chocolate and hazelnuts.
Hey, my phone's ringing.
Discover Mon Cherie, the brand of fine chocolate Europeans treasure most. You deserve it.
Potemkin Cadillac is #1 for lots of reasons, like price. Did you know you can buy a 1986 Coupe de Ville for only $16,189, or a sporty all-new Eldorado for only $19,995? Isn't it time you stepped up to a Potemkin Cadillac? And don't forget Potemkin's expert service. Over 7 acres right in the heart of Manhattan. Even if you didn't buy your Cadillac at Potemkin, we'll gladly service it. If the Potemkin nameplate isn't on the back of your car, you probably paid more than you should have.
Official presidential election results are triggering a new campaign in the Philippines. 3 days of counting by the Marcos-controlled assembly show President Marcos with an unbeatable lead over challenger Corazon Aquino. But many observers in the Philippines say the count was riddled with fraud. Today, an influential group of Catholic bishops called for a nonviolent campaign against the Marcos government. The first demonstration will be held on Sunday. The Philippine election is also creating tension in Washington. Senior officials at the White House are reportedly divided as to what U.S. strategy ought to be. Jeff Kamen reports, whatever the decision, the stakes are high for the U.S.
A struggle is underway at the highest levels of the Reagan administration over what the president should do next about the Philippines.
A handful of advisors, said to be led by White House Chief of Staff Donald Regan, is telling the president to stick with Marcos, while many others are calling for a change. To protect America's vital military bases and to keep the Philippines from sliding into anarchy and communism, powerful officials of the Defense Department, the CIA, the State Department, and members of Congress, including Senators Dole, Nunn, and Lugar, are pressing the president to take quick action. They want Mr. Reagan to declare publicly that most of the fraud in the Philippines election was committed by the party in power, President Marcos's party, and that the United States will not support a government that is elected through fraud.
What they discovered is that the U.S. would be hard-pressed to quickly move out the thousands of U.S. Air Force and Navy personnel who are currently assigned to Clark Field and Subic Bay Naval Base, let alone the more than 300,000 people in the Manila area who currently hold U.S. passports. That makes them U.S. citizens and entitled to evacuation. For the Independent News, Jeff Kamen at the White House.
Troubled by bad breath? Hiding your face in shame because nothing seems to work? Then naturally you need a Milk-Bone dog biscuit. Every delicious crunch of Milk-Bone helps scrape away plaque and food particles that can lead to bad breath. In fact, no other leading dog biscuit gets your teeth naturally cleaner and whiter or your breath fresher. Get Milk-Bone dog biscuits because naturally every dog wants fresher breath.
It's my turn to see what I can see. I hope you'll understand. This time's just for me.
The time I spend with Oil of Olay is special because it really works to replenish my skin. It quickly penetrates, giving me a younger look, an Oil of Olay look.
Oil of Olay. It can help keep you looking younger, too.
I love Oil of Olay because it gives me a look that says, here I come.
And quickly turning now to the local sports scoreboard. In hockey, the Rangers skated to a 7-5 win over Detroit, and Winnipeg beat Hartford 5-4. Over in the NBA, all local clubs were idle. Taking a look now at the local weather forecast for the metropolitan area, it is still coming down, but don't be fooled. We should get about 4 inches of the white stuff before it ends. For the rest of the overnight snow throughout the night, a traveler's advisory is in effect, and alternate side of the street parking has been suspended for tomorrow. For Saturday, the snow should end during the morning hours, giving way to sunny skies, the high 33 to 36. As for tomorrow night, clear skies and very cold, the overnight low going way down into the 20s. And looking ahead to Sunday, rain by evening, the high in the 40s. Right now, the latest reading in Central Park shows 28 degrees, and we have light snow falling over Midtown Manhattan. I'm George Derna, hoping you have a very fine weekend.
Whether you're looking for that special companion or a serious relationship, call us. We're Together, the nation's largest personal introduction service that's been bringing people just like you together for 11 years now. With over 55 offices nationally and more on the way, we've helped a lot of people get together. Call for an appointment today. Offices in Fort Lee, New Jersey, Northport, Long Island, Staten Island. Together, the personal dating service.
Now's the time for one of my biggest savings events of the year. It's Kaufman's gigantic pre-holiday carpet sale, and it's happening today and tomorrow. Come in and look for the red tags. You'll find better broadlooms from some of America's leading manufacturers, reduced $4 to $12 a square yard, to $5.99, $8.99, and $12.99. So shop Kaufman during the sensational pre-holiday sale. You'll find these red tags mark some of our lowest priced carpets ever.
Kaufman, the carpet experts. We've got it all.
The Independent News, brought to you by W.R. Grace, by Nabisco Milk Bones, and by Oil of Olay.
From our USA Tonight notebook, some Valentine's Day advice for those of you who want a millionaire to be your Valentine. How do you spot a millionaire? Where are millionaires most likely to live? Ask Dr. Thomas Stanley. He knows the answers. The Georgia State University professor has studied the living habits of millionaires. Don't expect the millionaire of your dreams to look rich. Dr. Stanley says millionaires are not particularly well dressed. And don't expect your millionaire to be driving a fancy European sports car or sailing a yacht. Dr. Stanley says most millionaires don't own yachts, and people who drive those fancy cars usually buy them on credit. If you live in the North, you'll find more millionaires in Connecticut. In the South, Maryland's the state. In the Midwest, Illinois. Out West, California. But the odds really favor you finding the millionaire of your choice in Alaska. Dr. Stanley says Alaska has the highest concentration of millionaires in the United States. Don't forget your mittens. And that's the Independent News for Friday, February 14th. I'm Morton Dean. Have a good night and a good weekend.